Hey everyone, and welcome to The Inside, a podcast where we get into the extraordinary minds and experiences of everyday people. I'm Jay, and with me as always is Adam. Hey Adam, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. But I got a quick question for you starting off. So, geographically, do you know where Belize is?
Belize?
Yeah.
Please, Adam.
Hey, do not make fun of me. That's a serious question. No. I've never traveled internationally in geography with it all, you know.
I wasn't. I just thought it was funny saying Belize, please.
Okay. Oh, so what? You're like the travel expert, are you?
Well, no, but I mean, I have traveled actually quite a bit in my lifetime, so maybe I am.
Okay. Well, if I'm traveling internationally, what else should I know?
Well, as far as probably the most important thing is like carry a really big bag. Mm-hmm. Don't put much in it because on the way back in to country, you're going to want to put all like the stuff you're smuggling back in, right?
Yeah. I mean, get some cocaine so you can pet the dogs at the airport. Yeah, that logic pattern.
Those security dogs are pretty friendly, man. Just don't put your face near their face and you're good to go. But seriously, probably one of the important things for international travel or anywhere really, I guess, is just like being aware of your surroundings. Don't get too caught up in the sights and stuff and not be aware of like who's around you and stuff like that.
Why do you say that, Jay? Did something happen while you were abroad that makes you more aware of that now?
This sounds like a setup.
Yeah.
But you know, in Jerusalem, I was not aware of my surroundings, and my group left when we were at the Western Wall, and I was stuck there by myself for several hours. There was a time in St. Vincent when it was Carnival season, and we didn't really understand what that was. And then when we saw what it was, and we were in the middle of it, it was kind of too late. And then there was we were in Guatemala, and we went to play soccer at nighttime with some of the brick masons.
Yeah.
And we didn't really know these guys, but so they're leading us down like these long dirt roads, like in the middle of this little town, and it's super dark. And I mean, now that I think about it, like it took a lot of trust in these guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we were actually going to play soccer or what. It ended up that we did.
Right. Okay. Cool.
We only lost half the group.
Oh. Well, it's interesting you say that, Jay, because this story has a lot in common with our guest today, Mauricio. He was someone who was born in Mexico and was a really good soccer player, and then he migrated here to the U.S., where he basically knew nobody. And just like when you were traveling, he had to put a lot of trust in those around him and basically take on faith that the people helping him were doing it to do the right thing for him. And anyway, I'm not doing a very good job telling the story, but it's a really good one, so I think we should bring him on and hear a little bit more about it and let him tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, let's bring him on.
Let's do it. Hey, Mauricio. Welcome to the Inside Podcast. We're glad you're here, man. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in here, man. You're somebody who was born in Mexico, and a long time ago, you illegally immigrated here to the U.S., and it's a real incredible story, and that's kind of part of what we want to talk about today. But before we do that, I just want to ask you about like what state in Mexico did you grow up in, and what was that like?
So I grew up in a small town, and the state is the Puebla.
Okay.
And it's about 30 minutes away from the city, so it's a very small town and very poor, as a lot of the towns in Mexico. And back when I was there, which was about 17 years ago, the crime was not as bad as it is right now. The crime have increased everywhere, but it was a good neighborhood, safe. At the same time, not much opportunities, especially like for a job or education was very difficult. So it was me and my little sister that we live with my mom and my mom was mom and dad, because mom and dad divorced when I was 5 years old, and it was difficult for her to be with us and to go to work. So most of the time we were home, me and my little sister alone, which that put me in a position where I had to really take care of my little sister.
Yeah.
And it was difficult, but that helped me a lot to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, I've been to Guatemala like 5 times, and I can, make sense, the places we went, was a lot of poverty, but the thing that I saw was people in those communities were much closer because they depended on each other. We hear in the media about dangerous gang and drug problems in Mexico a lot, but you said at that time it wasn't really something you experienced. Is that right?
Right. Again, we were able to. It was safe to be, running back and forth to like outside of the house and around the house, even to walk to the store. It was safe. It wasn't really, something that we have to worry about, crime. So it was pretty safe back then. It's different now.
Okay. Well, it did sound like this area you grew up in gave you respect for some small opportunities growing up. One of those opportunities that unfortunately didn't really work out was playing soccer. And I'm guessing everyone in there played soccer, but you were really good, so good that people noticed you. But what was the reason you didn't go professional with playing soccer?
People noticed that I have the skills. I was, good at soccer. I remember one time I was in school, and I believe it was fourth grade, where I wasn't gonna go to play with a team to, I guess, the district games. I wasn't gonna go because I didn't have shoes to play, but I was good at soccer. So I remember a teacher, she decided to buy my shoes and pay for everything for me to go, because for them it was important for me to be with a team. And then they wanted to give me the opportunity because they knew that I was, my mom was not going to be able to provide, but that's the main reason that a lot of kids don't have the opportunity financial and become, professional. Now
Gotcha.
the people that have the money, of course, they send their kids to good schools and pay to train their kids.
I think I remember you saying that you were someone who just, scored a lot of goals and was, somebody that people were starting to recognize and kind of wanting you to go to the next level.
So when I graduate sixth grade, I was invited to play with a team in the county. So people came to watch the games, and then they, of course, as always, they look at the good players, the best players, and they offer, to them to play with their team. And of course, they pay you. So yeah, I was invited, and I did play for a team that they provide uniforms, shoes, and they even pay per goal. Yeah. So
Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, so I guess you said around 2004 you made the decision that you wanted to come to the U.S. Why did you decide to leave home? I mean, that's got to be a pretty hard decision.
After I finished sixth grade, I that was the end for me, the end of my education over there. Again, um, that's another thing that is difficult for us back home. That education is not something that the any child can have the opportunity
Mm.
as is here.
So, like seventh grade and up, you kind of have to pay to go to school.
Um, well, it's more like they have a lot of tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they do things, based on the tradition. So it's just a lot of expenses that you have to make
Yeah.
to uh, be able to be involved. I start working, start helping people building houses. And
Mm-hmm.
again, a lot of traditions, good traditions actually, but a lot of them they're not that good. In my case, again, most of the people the work in the construction,
Mm-hmm.
they like to drink a lot more than what they should.
Yeah.
So I was about 14 years old when I started helping them,
Mm.
and at that age, a lot of teenagers start drinking. Actually, I was one of them because I was around those people.
Yeah.
So again, I started experience with things that just they were not good for me, to the point where I was in a difficult situation, because again, it's hard to uh, get a job, and without education, all you can do is work in the construction, which you make very little, not enough to I mean, just to barely survive. And then I have the opportunity to come here because my two brothers, Eugenio, Pedro, they were here, and they said they have a job, and they talked to me about coming over and work with them. That's how I decide to come over here.
Okay. So, kind
Well,
of economic decision.
Economic decision. Yep.
well, what was that process like coming here? I know you said your brothers were here, but like, was the process coming here, was it dangerous or anything?
Yes. It was dangerous. It's still dangerous to
Mm-hmm.
this day. I believe it's even uh, more dangerous than back when I came here. I did not experience situations where like other people, but for me it was difficult because it took me. I mean, I had to wait, weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it took me a month before I can make it here. But I did not went through, really, really bad situations. It
Mm.
was okay. It was
Does
better for me.
does someone help you do that? And like, do you have to pay them and everything?
Yeah, someone kind of guides you, where to go, um, and you do have to pay certain amount, you know, So yeah, otherwise, I mean, every person that when they come here the first time, they don't know where to go. So,
Okay.
yes.
Well, is that situation you had where like you pay somebody? Is that what most people that come here from Mexico, is that their same kind of experience, or like how does yours compare to others?
Yes, most of the people they have to do the same thing. Yeah, get help from somebody else.
Okay. Well, when you first came here, what was like one of the most valuable things you learned when you came to the U.S.?
Um, First of all, the just the opportunity to be here in a country like America, where you have a lot of opportunities
Mm-hmm.
to, first of all, get an education and the freedom
Yeah.
to um, basically have the opportunity to do what you want to do or to be what you want to be. So the opportunities.
Okay. Well, like when you came here, was there something you experienced that you didn't quite expect or that you weren't ready for, or something like that?
I thought um, the the first day I arrived here, I thought that the first American people that were going to see me, they were going to come to me and just talk to me or ask me to go back. And
Hmm.
but it was the opposite way, because the people around here, they are uh, most of the people are polite. They're respectful. Um, of course, you have to show that you are also a respectful person. Of course, in the beginning, it's not easy to uh, see those things, but I was surprised that, again, people were so respectful and polite to me, knowing that I was here illegal.
Did you come to North Carolina like immediately, or you were somewhere else first?
I came here to North Carolina
Okay.
first, and here's where I start.
And like now you have your own like really great construction business and a wife and a family, and that's pretty cool. So you started working construction, I guess, when you were saying when you were kind of a teenager in Mexico, and then did was that just natural that you continued doing that here? Like, how did you get your start doing that when you were in North Carolina?
Yes, so again, when I started working back in Mexico, I was 14 years old, and so I work, helping these people building houses until I was 18 years old.
Mm.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot of things over there. I mean, pretty much all about construction as far as building a house.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved here, I kind of noticed the construction jobs, it's similar, except the material can be different. But um, I have the skills of doing different things. Now I did understood that I have to learn the language to be able to communicate to people, because I didn't know the language. When I moved here, I didn't know English at all. Start learning being around people, and so that encouraged me to decide to go to English classes.
Well, like, this is a pretty interesting story. Like Jay mentioned, you now have a wife and family. When you met your wife, she couldn't really speak Spanish, and you didn't know much English. And so I was wondering how you guys met, and like what that first date must have been like.
Yeah, it was amazing because she didn't know Spanish. I didn't know English. So I used to live in a mobile home park, and a lady used to live right next to us. And as you know, mobile homes are really kind of next to each other.
Mhm.
So one day I was, home and washing dishes, and there's normally a window right in front of your kitchen sink. So I was just looking out toward the other mobile home, and then there was this girl that we just start waving each other, and
That's
so
how it all started.
yeah, that's how we started. And one day, her uncle actually he knows some words, Spanish words, enough to kind of communicate with like somebody that don't know the language. So I told him that I was thinking I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I wanted to invite um, Amanda, which is my wife now, to go out and eat, but I didn't know how to tell her. So I have to you know uh, get his help, and he did help me. He told her that I wanted to invite her out to eat, and she wanted to go. She
uh,
said, I do want to go, but now she wasn't sure if it was safe for her to go out with me, that someone that she don't know.
yeah.
She didn't know at all. So we decide that the uncle can go with us, and at the same time he was going to translate for us.
Okay.
And that happened. First time we went out to eat, and it was great. Now from that day on, it was like we have the best communication, because she knew when I was home, I knew when she was at her grandma's home. So again, it was just something that um, it happened. It's like it was planned,
Yeah.
in the very beginning. But we used books and dictionaries to be able to communicate. Every time she wanted to say something, she looked at she opened her book or the dictionary, and find the words, and then I kind of did the same thing to look for the answer, and that's how we started communicate.
That
I
is
just,
so sweet.
yeah, I just wonder how awkward that first date would have been if you didn't have the translator there. Would have been really weird.
Yeah,
But now I hear that your wife speaks better Spanish than you do. So
Ooh.
I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. And she does. She speaks Spanish. Um, Even, I mean, some people, they can't believe that she speaks Spanish so well.
Mhm.
They don't think that she's from here.
Yeah, she's like a native speaker.
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, that shows you how much she loves you.
Mm-hmm.
But she was born an American citizen, like you said, right? And your kids are American citizens. They were born here, and you have your residency for the U.S., and you're currently working towards the citizenship test. And I just wondered, like, what is that process like? I always hear like how long it is and hard and expensive. What's that like?
For my resident, it wasn't that difficult. Why? Because when I apply for the residence, I already have everything I need to prove that I was eligible to become a resident.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, it's like when someone marries a citizen, a U.S.A. citizen, you have to wait certain time. So it took about 2 years, and then it was expensive, but I mean, I was able to start the process and finish, and I am on the process for the citizenship, which I still waiting. Now with the COVID thing, everything slows down, and then so I'm still waiting. It's going to slow. This process is going to slow, but I have faith that it's gonna happen.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I mean that process is just one example of you have this really unique advantage of being able to see society from like this Hispanic lens as someone that immigrated to the U.S. and from this non-Hispanic lens as someone that's working to become a citizen of the United States. So you get to see both sides of things. And I was wondering if you could tell us if there's like some stereotypes that one side might think of the other that they just got wrong about the other side.
On the Hispanic side, they think that because they don't have the same benefit, so they don't necessarily have to pay their taxes. But that is just wrong, because it's either if I'm illegal or if I'm legal. If I live here, I have to do what every resident or citizen is doing. See what I'm saying? To be part of the community.
Exactly. Like, is that something you tell like other people that have immigrated here? Is that what you tell them about taxes and stuff like that?
Yes. So okay. I encourage every the Hispanic people that don't understand how the taxes thing works. I explain to them the reason we have the opportunity to have all this nice roads, kids have the opportunity to go to school, all this nice parks. It's because people are paying taxes. So when I understood that it's, again, as a resident or citizen, you have to do those things. Then that's when I decide it's not right. If someone has kids and they have all this good things and not pay taxes, it's just not right. If you go back to Mexico, if I go back to Mexico, what I want for people to know is the time that I was in America, I pay my taxes. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that breaks a lot of stereotypes too, because I think a lot of people who don't have the opportunity to get to know people from other places just make an assumption that, they're here freeloading, they're not paying their taxes, they're just taking from everybody else who's paying their taxes. And so I think it's really smart of you to try to teach those other guys about that. And then you and I were talking the other day about privilege and where we live, and like you said, it's pretty rural and people are friendly and things like that. But even still, like I have the ability to like go in the store or go to the recreation center or, do whatever I want without even thinking that someone is going to discriminate against me or kind of make me feel like I'm not welcomed here. But you on the other hand, have had some experiences where like people have said stuff to you, or maybe they didn't say anything, but they just acted in a way that kind of told you that they were suspicious of you, just because of, who you are. And what can you tell us about like how you've experienced that?
Yes, there's been a couple times where I was able to tell the people when people were looking at me, I knew that they were just thinking, you know what, this is a robber, or they just look at you, and when they see you're a Hispanic, they in their mind, it's already they're thinking the worst of a Hispanic person. There was one time that I stopped at the gas station and I saw a couple, older people walking into the store, and of course they were slow, and so I
Right.
was walking behind them, and I just as we were getting closer to the door, I kind of speed and got in front of them. But before I got in front of them, they turned and they thought I was going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they look scary. But so I got in front of them and I opened the door for them to get in. So, and I hold the door until they walk in, and so they were surprised. And as I always tell I have a lot of good friends, a lot of American friends. I mean, I can tell you that I have friends that I do a lot of work for them, and they help me in certain ways. I help them. We just have a lot of trust, and I remember when I was in the process for like my resident situation, I have to have some support letters, so they wrote me letters. I mean, I got more than what I need. So at the same time, I tell them, there is a lot of people that think that Hispanic are just bad people. Hispanic people have the good reputation about working so hard, and there's some bad ones, but most of them are, responsible, and they work hard. They take care of their families, and I tell them a lot of them, they pay their taxes. So there is most of the people that pay their taxes. See, even like a Hispanic person don't have a social security number. We can get a IT number, like identification number. It's just to report your taxes, to show that you're paying taxes. So there is a way for a person that is illegal here can pay taxes.
And so I guess if you're going for residency, then, having that history would also be helpful, like along with like the letters and stuff you're talking about.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, man, we're just so glad that you're our friend and part of this community, and you just had the chance to build a good life here. What do you miss about Mexico? Like, if you could bring some part of Mexico life here, what would that be?
The things that I miss are, of course, the rest of my family.
Yeah.
That I don't get to see them. often enough. A lot of times, believe it or not, I miss the way I grew up. Easy, simple way to live. Because as having my own business now, financial wise, I done really well. I have the chance, been blessed to be where I am right now. But sometimes I just miss, the simple life. At the same time, again, crime have increased. So believe it or not, sometimes people that have been in this country for 20 years, 25 years, I've been here 17 years, kind of feel like we don't know where is home. I feel like Cullowhee is home. But at the same time, I feel like my town where I grew up is home.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experience, and I have I've been blessed by this country and this community where I feel good about being here, and if I can bring those things here, I be living the perfect life.
Yeah.
But of course, sometimes you can't have everything at once, That's just the way it goes.
If you figure that out, let me know.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of people come to the States from all different kinds of countries to just try to make a life. And just you being someone who came from somewhere else, what do you have any advice? Like if someone was just new coming in, like what would you tell them? How would you help them get started?
Well, you got to understand, every person has to understand that moving to a different country or another country it's not going to be the same as is in our own country. Get used to the way and the things are in that country. Learn the language, and things will go easier if we just start to understand that it's not the same.
That's a big lesson.
Well said, man. Well said. Well, Mauricio, we got one last surprise question for you before we leave. It's like a little game that we're going to play with you. It's really quick and it's super easy. So we're going to ask you, we're going to say 2 words and you're going to tell us which one you like better. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Tamale or hamburger?
Tamale.
Alrighty. Hammer or chainsaw?
Hammer.
Okay.
Mexico or the U.S.A.? No, don't answer that.
We're just kidding.
Just kidding.
Can I say both?
Yeah. All right. And lastly, football or football?
Football?
Yeah.
He said
okay. Football.
Yeah.
He was trying to say it like a Spanish-speaking guy.
Whoops. Anyway, well, Mauricio, thank you so much for coming on the show today. What an incredible experience, and it was just a blast to have you on. We learned a lot. Thanks, man.
Yes, thank you guys for inviting me. It was great.
Absolutely.
All
well,
right.
We'll catch you later, all right?
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Wow, Jay, that was great. What What an incredible story. But you know, one part that really stuck out to me that I liked was about him at the window doing the dishes, and that's how he met his wife.
Yeah.
Like, what a super sweet love story.
Really.
And hey, like, if I'm following that logic pattern, you know, I'm single, so maybe if I just start doing some dishes outside my room, then I'll get married.
Adam, I don't think that's exactly
Anyway,
how
Jay, what do you think of this story?
Well, yeah, anyway, I'm really grateful that he was willing to come on the show and like share his experiences on the road to becoming this model American citizen. You know, like it takes all kinds of people to make this country run, and I think one of our best strengths here in the good old USA is the diversity of the people and their life experiences. Like, can you imagine how boring it would be if like everyone was just like you and me, and well, mostly you?
Yeah, so you think that wraps it up for today? Hey, wait, no!
Yeah,
No.
I'm kidding, man. Yeah, you're right. I think we're done here.
Cool. Well, that was The Inside. Special thanks to our guests Mauricio and our producer Dave. The show is written, recorded, edited, and co-produced by Jay and myself, and our title music Crossroads was written by Rock Sounds, and we'll have a link in the show description for that. Our title music was performed by Keith Richards, and we will have more episodes coming soon, so make sure to listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. As always, follow us on Instagram at The Inside Podcasters, or send us an email at theinsidepodcasters@gmail.com.
So I have experience, and I have I've been blessed by this country and this community where you know, I feel good about being here, and if I can bring those things here, I'll be living the perfect life.